All right, we'll call the meeting to order.
She has to record.
We got to start recording on our end here.
We are recording.
All right, we're going to have a quick public hearing. But first, this is a first for Hampstead. We're having a partial live and partial go-to meeting. So we have a hybrid meeting going on, which just seems to be the way of the world these days. And our thanks to CMC and Richard Turner and his team for taking the time to get us all set up on this. I understand we're a little bit of a guinea pig, and other than a few minutes late starting, we're in good shape. So first thing is the public hearing. Of course, this meeting is being recorded for preservation of records. The discussion we need to have is the discussion of Ordinance 538, which deals with the amendments of uses that are allowed in restricted industrial districts. So if anybody here has any comment on the uses that are allowed, that are included in that ordinance, feel free to speak up now. I can't imagine we're going to have any comment. Just let the team know that I have a comment related to this. On Wayne, you'll be impressed. So on section 135, 134, under accessory uses, which is on the back of the third page in, I'd like to add an amendment related to accessory uses there for solar farms that may be ground mounted. I don't want to see if we have a big 200,000 square footer being built, warehouse or whatever being built, that 25% of that then is, we're allowing 25% of that space to be used as solar panels on the ground because we have such a limited amount of suitable IR land. That I would put in, adding to the end of that, not to exceed 10,000 square feet, which must be located behind the rear of the building line and screened by an earthen berm or fenced. So that's what I would suggest for an amendment when we get to that in the meeting. I don't know if anybody else is going to have any other comments.
Chris, are you talking about number 6 under 135, 134?
Yep.
Yes, Wayne, which was suggested by planning and zoning. What's in blue was an addition.
I understand that. I just wanted to make sure I was looking at the right thing.
Yep. You got an A6.
Yep.
Okay. So any other comments from the council or anybody else? All right. We'll go to the council meeting. Please rise for the opening prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance. We submit ourselves to you as your servants and the servants of the people of Hampstead who placed our trust in us, O Lord. Please allow every word that is spoken and every action to be taken in the best interest of Hampstead and for everyone gathered here to be a stabilizing influence in these unsettled times. O Lord, bless this meeting and our town. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And for the roll call, I'll just handle that. Basically, Deb Painter and Dave Unglesby are here in person, and Wayne Thomas, Marlene Duff, and Joe Renahan are either joining us by GoToMeeting or on my cell phone. So, minute approvals, the council meeting of December 8th, the public hearing and the council meeting. I'll take a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
I asked for an amendment to be made, but I never saw the updated council meeting minutes.
Where was it, Wayne?
Right above public comments on the last page, Mr. Renahan made a motion to introduce ordinance 538. Ms. Painter seconded the motion. It doesn't have the votes. It was 5 votes for,
There.
no votes against, no abstentions. It's on yours? Okay,
Yeah, it's there.
thank you.
All those for?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you. Okay, Tammy, town manager's report and one of the last Main Street revitalization updates.
You think. For our
Optimistic.
downtown revitalization project, the December partner meeting was canceled due to weather. Meeting scheduled for this month, for January, and there may be one more partner meeting in February. Last week, C.J. Miller began flushing the new stormwater inlets on Main Street. They will remain on site and continue flushing through this week. The old traffic signal foundation at Gill Avenue has been removed, and the old pole at Northwoods Trail should be removed this week. Verizon was on site last week to replace a declining utility pole in the southern section of Main Street. They are also working on replacing 4 poles near Gill Avenue on the southbound lane and raising the lines that are hanging below the tops of the newly installed lamp post across the street from Matthews Tire. Both projects are currently in engineering and have been scheduled, and have not yet been scheduled, so hopefully it'll occur soon. Temperatures are forecast to be warmer this week, so you will see crews on site working on concrete punch list items. This work includes repairing or replacing damaged concrete, correcting ADA compliance issues, cleaning and sealing the joints of sidewalks, and addressing the town's concerns about water valve boxes that were damaged during construction. Substantial completion has been approved by SHA, which stops the counting of construction days. The project still needs to be finalized and accepted. One last walkthrough inspection will be conducted that will include town staff and our inspector. Crews may remain on Main Street afterwards to address items discussed during this inspection. Our commercial and residential projects continue to move forward. New business prospects are being explored. Carroll County Restaurant Relief 2 is a new grant that's available with $720,900 of additional funding received from the state. Award amounts will be based on full-time equivalent employment, FTEs, which is employees working 30 or more hours a week. Restaurant with 9 or fewer FTE employees are eligible for a $3,000 grant. Restaurants with 10 to 50 FTE employees are eligible for an $8,000 grant. Food trucks, regardless of the number of employees, may receive $3,000 in grant funding. Eligible restaurants can submit applications online at www.carrollbiz.org. Carroll County Restaurant Relief 2 grant applications will be accepted on first-come, first-served basis. The application portal will remain open through February 1st until 4 p.m. National, regional chains, franchise, and publicly traded companies are not eligible. Establishments that receive previous grants are eligible to apply again. In addition to this funding, the Small Business Administration Payroll Protection Program, PPP, Part 2, opened yesterday morning at 9 a.m. for first draw loans. Sole proprietorships, independent contractors, self-employed persons, and nonprofits may be eligible. First draw PPP loans can be used to help fund payroll costs, including benefits. Funds can now also be used to pay for mortgage, interest, rent, utilities, worker protection costs related to COVID-19, uninsured property damage costs caused by looting or vandalism during 2020, and certain supplier costs and expenses for operations. Businesses should consult with their local lenders regarding participation in the program. I don't know if anybody noticed our candy cane lane decorating contest we had last month. After many November and December events were canceled, we felt that something should be created to make the Christmas season a little brighter and more cheerful. We presented a decorating contest to residents and businesses on Main Street, and it was given the name Candy Cane Lane on Main. Participants even received their own Candy Cane Lane yard sign. The contest was divided into businesses and residential categories. The winners of the first Candy Cane Lane on Main Street decorating contest were chosen by the amount of likes on the town Facebook page. For the residential entries, 1028 South Main took first place with 383 likes, followed closely behind by 1329 North Main for second place with 371 likes. On the business side, A Manner of Time won first place with 297 likes, and CarQuest Auto Parts came in second place with 229 likes. Each winner will receive a gift card from a local business. Residents and travelers who drove through our town have called to share how much they enjoyed the decorations, and they hope we continue this new tradition next year. The town would like to say thank you to everyone who participated and helped to spread Christmas cheer. The military banner program was created. We're continuing with our military banner program, which was created to pay tribute to the brave men and women who are serving, have served, or have given their life in a line of duty while serving in the United States Armed Forces. Any active, retired, or deceased military personnel who have lived, or may still have family members residing in the local area may participate. Banners are displayed on Main Street from May through September. We're still accepting applications for this year with a deadline of February 1st. we have another water main replacement project. The town will be submitting a request for bid for a new water main replacement for Lower Beckleysville Road. This main was installed in the 1970s, but we have experienced many failures over the years. The request for bid will be sent out this Friday, January 15th. The bids will be due back to the town before the bid opening on Friday, February 5th at 2 p.m. And just to let you know, our finance department, Cheryl's working on calendar year in closeout. She's preparing W-2s, 1099s, and 1095s for the ACA reporting and updating the payroll system with 2021 tax rates and updating payroll with new leave balances. And one last minute addition, our Hillcrest Tower. The tower was successfully removed on December 10th as it was budgeted. So everything went very, very well. Just one special note, I want to let all the residents know that yard waste collection services have stopped for the winter months, and services will begin again in April.
Questions for Tammi? We got a couple of calls about the water tower, but it was amazing that so few people noticed. All right, we'll go into oversights. Marlene, would you like to start off, please?
Yeah, sure.
Thanks.
Keith Johnson, the interim market manager, has reported that he has been meeting with Mr. Sunderland of the developing group who purchased the North Carroll High School building. They possibly want to make an area of the grounds the new permanent home of the farmers market, hopefully as early as this summer. So updates will be provided as they occur. And that's it.
Very good. Yeah, they're the contract purchaser. Hopefully, there's a few things they got to work out with the county, but that goes to closing by the time the farmers market opens up. Wayne, you want to go next?
Yes. Nothing to report on the Hampstead Train Station Committee other than I heard from Danny. He's stuck in Florida and he has survived COVID-19, so that's good. Tree Commission, I want to thank the Public Works Department for helping straighten out the trees on Willow Street. We had some issues with trees bending. There were supports on the trees, and apparently we made a mistake taking those supports off too soon. So thank you to the Public Works Department for their help. That's it.
Good. They've been very busy. Joe, you have anything?
Yes, I do. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay. First of all, Chief Sykes Memorial Park received approval of grant funds. We will be submitting an RFP for a new walking path and some concrete work in February. We will order the additional items included in the grant and install a new sign. War Memorial Park received approval of grant funds. We will be removing the large tree at the rear of the pavilion and installing a sign at the park. We will complete additional site visits to determine amenity availability. This is not for the larger grant from community parks and playgrounds. We will be notified of that award or denial in May of this year. And that's all I got.
Good. Thank you. Deb?
Planning and Zoning Commission approved the concept plan of the Hampstead Fire Department, which was contingent on the approval from the county. The annexation approval process is complete and waiting on the county for stormwater approval. There will be a sidewalk that's added from Main Street to the fire hall along Upper Beckleysville. And as we discussed earlier, Ordinance 538 was sent to council for adoption for the purpose of cleaning up the coding, which included removing parking garages from primary use to principal use and removing items that fit into business and general districts. The comprehensive plan discussion included Chapter 11 and Appendix A, Historic and Cultural Resources. And finally, the topic of solar farms was discussed to determine the size of the solar panels and parameters.
Thank you. Dave, finally. Lots of water stuff.
Yep, that's water stuff. December 2020 average water usage was 330,000 gallons per day. Total gallons of water pumped for 2020 was 126,184,000, which was an average of about 345,000 gallons per day. compared to 127,512,000 gallons of average water of 348,000 gallons a day for 2019. So it's kind of amazing there. January 2021 average water usage so far is 332,000 gallons per day. Rainfall total for December 2020 was 4.2. Rainfall total so far is 1.1.
Yeah, not much. So, yeah, when we took down the water tower, I think our pumping and usage went down by another 10,000 gallons a day, so it was leaking. So, all right, Chief, you're up.
Good evening, everyone. With reference to December's activities, traffic safety-wise, we investigated 7 reportable accidents, 2 minor property damage accidents, displayed the speed signs at a total of 7 locations for 71 days worth of display. Traffic enforcement, we conducted 50 selective enforcements over a 27-hour period. I thought I was good to go. I didn't touch it ahead of time. During that period, we issued 11 citations, 40 warnings. Overall traffic enforcement included 36 citations, 129 warnings. We conducted 851 property checks, of businesses and schools. With reference to serious crime, we investigated 3 thefts and 1 auto theft. 2 adults were taken into custody for traffic violations, 1 adult for a DUI, and 2 adults on outstanding warrants. Training, we conducted 125 hours of training. Various topics included things such as crash investigations, anti-bias training, risk of social media, several officer safety related things, the entire list you have before you. Community events, I mentioned it last council meeting. We had our annual Shop with a Cop presentation. It went well, as I mentioned last council meetings. If I could ask the mayor to come down, I'm going to go off script here with a little bit of a change of things and ask Corporal Cranshaw to come up. One of the things that we continue to deal with here in Carroll County and certainly here in Hampstead as well are issues relative to safe highways. We continue to have issues with impaired drivers, not just here but throughout the state. And until a few minutes ago, Jonathan wasn't aware that we were going to ask him to come in here tonight. Last year, Lieutenant Gagler submitted Jonathan's name and information to Maryland State Highway Safety Associate or Office, and put his name in for recognition for his work for DUI. Every year they award what's known as the Noah Liotta Memorial Award. Now that's named after a 24-year-old police officer in Montgomery County that was killed back in 2015 by a drunk driver. Ironically, he was working on a drunk driving detail at the time. Each year the state gives this to one police officer in Maryland, and this year it happens to be Corporal Cranshaw. So I'm going to ask the mayor to present it to him, but to put it in perspective, I get to work with a lot of really great people every day. I'm fortunate. And I come in here and once a month I get to talk to the council about the things we do, the training we do, and it's hard for me to relay the excitement I get each and every day when I walk through the door. One of the things I did in preparation for this tonight is I just took a look at some of the training because, I talked about it tonight, but to put it in perspective of, one of your police officers, the things that go into getting him to the point where we're actually standing up here. Some of his credentials, and I'm going to abbreviate this as much as I can, because I know you have a lot of things on the schedule tonight. But Jonathan's been certified by the National Highway and Traffic Safety Administration in standard field sobriety testing. That's the field tests that go on out there. He's graduated from the University of Maryland's DUI Institute of Advanced Law Enforcement Studies. He's certified in advanced roadside impairment driving enforcement by the Baltimore County Police Department. He's certified as a preliminary breath test operator by the Maryland Office of the Chief Medical Examiner. He's trained in recognizing medically at-risk drivers by the Baltimore County Police Department. I guess it was last year we had a accommodation day, and to put this in perspective, real-life activities, Jonathan was recognized for a driver that he pulled over, it came in as a DUI, and through some of this training that I'm talking about here, he was able to recognize it wasn't a DUI, it wasn't an impaired driver, it was a guy who was having a medical emergency and needed to be hospitalized right away. Quite frankly, he saved the gentleman's life based on the actions that he did that day. He is recognized by the Carroll County Circuit Court and has testified as an expert witness in what is known as horizontal gaze nystagmus. Essentially, that is a way of identifying that people are impaired through physiological responses that they have. He is certified by the International Chiefs of Police as a drug recognition expert, and I've mentioned that before in the council meeting. He's one of the handful of people in the county that can do that. To put that in perspective, now again, I'm going to go off the script here a little bit more. If you take the medical exam anywhere in the country and you score a 70 or better, at the end of the exam they call you doctor. In the DRE exam that's administered, you have to score 100%. There is no deviation or you don't pass the course. It's rather rigorous. It's incredible that, people that go through it. But just that puts it in perspective. He's conducted over 130 field sobriety tests. He's completed 70 DUI investigations. All that goes into sort of the package that results in him being recognized with this award this year as the sole officer in Maryland. So, congratulations.
I've known Jonathan since he came on the force, and part of this says for your demonstrated enthusiasm, dedication, and professionalism in enforcing Maryland's impaired driving laws. And I've watched this man grow in his job from being a patrolman to now a corporal leading other people in the department, and dedication and professionalism says a lot about you. So congratulations again. Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's very impressive.
And typically they do this awards ceremony in Ocean City. So when I broke the news to Jonathan tonight, I'm sorry, this is the best I can do for COVID. If you imagine, close your eyes.
Should have brought your surfboard in.
Yeah.
Should have brought your surfboard in. All right. Well done. Mayor's report, not much specific. I will say that Tammi downplayed the commercial and business part of her staff report. It's, in my time here, between existing businesses expanding and the new pipeline of the businesses looking to come to Hampstead, what's going on with North Carroll High School, it's pretty active right now, and it says a lot about Hampstead and the strides we've been able to make, all to the positive. The other piece of it, I can't thank the Public Works Department, town staff, for everything they did related to Hallmark. Main Street just basically looked like Hallmark in Hampstead. I had a lot of people comment on it. It's great that all that effort is very much appreciated, and we love the Candy Cane Lane on Main contest and all the likes and shares that were getting done with that. It definitely fostered community pride. So we look forward, obviously, to doing it again next year, and of course, continuing to make things bigger and better each and every year, just like we seem to add an ornament to our houses or our Christmas trees, doing the same thing here in town.
And I'd like to take an opportunity to do a shout out to the staff. We had looked at Main Street, trying to determine what we were going to do for the tree lighting. And we had talked about putting Santa on Main Street, and I had just made a comment, hey, why don't we do this little section, have people decorate? And that's when the mayor said, why don't we do all of Main Street? And then, you had staff, Jim Roark, working on the flyer. Christy Collins was like, why don't we call it Candy Cane on Lane? And then we got together and we were able to contact the businesses and the residents, and in a week, 2 weeks is when they just really put everything together. So I definitely want to put a shout out to town staff for Christy Collins and Jim Roark for all the work they put into it.
It was well done, so our thanks to them. I don't think we have any unfinished business on the new business. We have an opening on planning and zoning. We've had one for a while. I've been looking for a good qualified candidate who wants to put the time and effort into the planning and zoning. And between Jim Roark and I guess we twisted Lou's arm enough. So I'm putting forward Lou Conyer as an appointment to the Planning and Zoning Commission. Lou's a long-term resident of Hampstead. He lives over in Westwood Park 2, which is that little community just on the other side of the bypass. He works for Prometric. I had to ask what they did. Basically, professional licensing and certification when you boil it all down. And he was involved for quite a number of years as his son grew up here in Boy Scouts and in the Lions Club baseball. So I'm really happy to present Lou and recommend him for appointment to the Planning and Zoning Commission if the council sees fit.
So moved.
Thank you, Wayne.
Second.
Second by Marlene. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you all. That was unanimous, so I don't need to say no. Lou, come on up.
Over here.
Yeah, we'll go in the middle, right there. You do? I'll bring it out. I got it. Better. You can face me. Right hand up. I, Lou Conyer, do swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States
I, Lou Conyer, do swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of Maryland
and that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of Maryland
and support the Constitution and laws thereof,
and support the Constitution and laws thereof,
and that I will, to the best of my skill and judgment,
and that I will, to the best of my skill and judgment,
diligently and faithfully,
without
partiality or prejudice,
partiality or prejudice,
execute the office as a member of the Hampstead Planning and Zoning Commission
execute the office as a member of the Hampstead Planning and Zoning Commission
according to the Constitution and laws of this state.
according to the Constitution and laws of this state.
Congratulations and welcome aboard.
Okay, thank you.
Now you gotta come over here and sign. This is the one the town, yeah, okay, so you gotta sign here and there, and Tammi will attest both places.
I'm excited for the farmer's market in North Carolina.
Oh, sorry.
Did you get space?
Yeah,
Grow plenty of space.
We'll do another one.
okay. Let me sign this and get it right to you. Where you wanna do it? There you go.
I'll write that up as my personality. So much for social distancing. You good? Thank you. Thank you. All right. Sure thing. Sorry you guys can't see that, but we were online. All right. Approval for audit services contract extension from Zolnikowski and Axelrod. We have a bid for another 3 years. I mean, Tammi and I talked with Cheryl about the service we were getting. It was good. They gave us, I think, a very good price. They held 2021 steady from 2020, and then 2% bumps for the 3-year contract in total for the 2021, 22, and 23 fiscal years. So I'll take a motion to approve Zelenikowski and Axelrod. And Joe, so moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Deb. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Anyone opposed? All right. Next, I think we ought to move 4 to 3 because we ought to amend the budget before we approve the contract. Fiscal year 2021 budget revision for the water fund for $12,800 from the reserve to water operation rental / contractual services, and that's for the next item on the agenda, which is the corrective action plan and an engineering proposal.
Make a motion to approve fiscal year 2021 budget revision water fund, $12,800 from reserve to water operation rental contractual services.
Second.
Thank you, Wayne. Any discussion? All right, since it's a budget revision, we need a roll call. That's you.
I know, I'm just trying to figure out how to do this. Councilwoman Duff,
Yes.
Councilwoman Painter,
Yes.
Councilman Renahan, Councilman Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Unglesby.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion's approved. And then it's the approval of the engineering proposal that I talked about for corrective action plan to address an MDE advisory related issue related to wells 24 and 25 that we notified everybody in town personally about related to our wells, and a new contaminant, if you will, that was being monitored by MDE. So we're taking proactive steps to correct whatever it is that we need to with those two wells.
Make a motion approval of engineering proposal for corrective action plan to address MDE advisory related to wells number 24 and 25.
Second.
Second by Deb. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thanks. Any other new business? On ordinances and resolutions, we have the adoption of ordinance 538, which we talked about at the beginning of the meeting, which is uses in a restricted industrial area. And I talked about the amendment to section 135-134A, subsection 6, and adding to the end of that, not to exceed 10,000 square feet, which must be located behind the rear of the building line and screened by an earthen berm or fenced. So I'll take up.
To the adoption of ordinance 538.
Thank you, Joe. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, now, since it was introduced unamended, we need to vote on the amendment, right, Wayne, as our parliamentarian?
Yes, sir. Before we get to that, I'd like to have a discussion about number 6. So these are accessory uses. Jim Roark and I discussed this, and what we were talking about was if somebody wants to put solar panels on top of the building and maybe put some on the side. And number 6 refers to it as solar farms. Also added to this ordinance is a definition that's going to go into the Chapter 135. It says a solar farm is an area of land on which a large number of ground-based solar panels are installed to generate electricity. So I don't think we should call this a solar farm or solar farms. I think what this should be is something to the tune of rooftop solar panels or solar panels, or because the intention of this was that if somebody wanted to put solar panels on top of their building, I'm not opposed to what you said about the 25%, but if we go to 10,000, it's going to be a huge building. If 25% on the ground is going to be 10,000 square feet, that's going to be a rather large rooftop.
Yeah, we could have a 200,000 square footer built, and then 25% of that is 50,000. So I don't want to see more than an acre. So that's why I was limiting it to a quarter acre at 10,000 square feet.
I'm fine with your amendment, but I'd like to change it from saying solar farms, because solar farms is going to be a definition once we approve this.
Okay.
So what do you think, Mr. Roark? Solar panels?
I do agree with you, and I apologize for not catching that. Me and Tammi had talked about that in advance. And I do think the term solar panels as an accessory use would fit instead of solar farms.
Okay. So we have 2 amendments to number 6. 1, change farm to panels, and then 2, add on what I said at the end, not to exceed 10,000 square feet, which must be located behind the rear of the building line and screened by an earthen berm or fenced.
Correct, and there's 2 references in there in number 6 to solar farm. So twice we will have to change it from farms to panels, and then from farm singular to panels again.
Okay.
And I have one more question directed to Councilman Thomas. If you go to section 135-138B, it says all permitted and conditional uses and accessory activities shall be confined within completely enclosed buildings with the exception of, and it starts to list exceptions. I would think we should add solar panels to the exceptions, because they're not going to be totally confined within the enclosed buildings.
I think that's.
Yeah,
goes without
135
saying.
138?
I'm sorry, Wayne, I couldn't hear you.
135, 138, where?
B.
B.
What? B as in boy?
Yes, sir.
135, 138. Performance requirements?
Yes.
All permitted and conditional uses and accessory activities shall be confined within completely enclosed buildings.
Yeah, we're gonna have to add solar panels in there.
Okay.
I think that goes without saying, because you can't have a solar panel inside a building.
Well, off-street parking spaces goes without saying, but they have that listed too.
We'll put it in.
Okay. So let's,
So it's a greenhouse.
let's go one at a time so we don't get confused. So the first amendment we're going to make is what we just discussed in section 135, 134, number 6. What we previously discussed, solar to farm to solar panels, the condition that the mayor has suggested. I make a motion that we approve that amendment to the ordinance.
Second.
Second. Any further discussion? All those in favor of the amendment?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, then let's go down to 138.
B.
135-138B is in boy. And there we'll have to add in, I guess after signs, add in solar panels. Do you agree, Mr. Roark?
I do agree. Yes.
Okay,
Thank you.
so I make a motion to make that amendment change to 135-138B.
Second.
And Dave seconded. Any discussion on that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you. Any other amendments?
We go back to 135. We've added Q. Solar farms except as permitted in 135-134.
Oh, that's
I make a motion that we amend it to add Q.
It's already on my draft.
130.
Solar farms except as permitted in 135-134.
But it's something that was added, so we
Oh.
have to include it.
Yeah,
Or 138.
because it was but what's in blue was added, so we have to amend the original ordinance to add that. So
Second.
that's my motion, to add in Q.
All right, Dave seconds.
Councilman Thomas, I have a question real quick. Since
sir.
we are changing 135, 134 from solar farms to solar panels, do we need to keep in there except as permitted in 135-134?
You know what, that's a good point. Just so there's no confusion about what solar is allowed and what isn't, I think we should keep it in there.
Okay, that's fine.
All right, good points. Motion to approve the amendment?
Aye.
Everybody, all those in favor of approving the amendment?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. All right,
And then the next section I think that we need to approve is we've added Article 2 to the ordinance, which is way down near the bottom.
all the way at the back.
And this is adding the definition of solar farm. That the section 135-3 of the Code of the Town of Hampstead be amended to add the following definition in the appropriate alphabetical order. Solar farm, an area of land on which large number of ground-based solar panels are installed to generate electricity.
All right,
This was also suggested by the Planning and Zoning Commission.
you changed solar farm to solar panel though, didn't you?
No, but this actually.
No.
Okay,
No, this is solar farm. This is the definition of solar farm.
all right,
That's why we had to change the other one to panel.
so you've made that motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Dave is seconding again. Any further discussion? All those in favor of the amendment?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. All right, any more amendments? This is the most amended ordinance in a long time. So I'll take
Thanks to the hard work of the Planning and Zoning Commission and Jim Roark.
needed to be updated.
And
Okay, so I'll take a motion to approve ordinance 538 as amended.
So moved.
Second.
So moved by Deb. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Dave. He's on a roll. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you all. Approved. All right, public comments. We have a couple of public here. Anybody want to weigh in?
The North Carroll the North Carroll High School, how is that zoned?
Doug, hi. Doug Harrell asking how North Carroll High School is zoned. It's still zoned conservation, public conservation, but we're having discussions of how to change the uses within it and working with the contract purchasers to what uses they may want to see there and what we think is appropriate.
Sorry I missed the last meeting, but how many acres goes with that?
50, the whole site.
Okay.
That's why they're primarily buying it. The school's almost, we're happy they're keeping it, but it's almost auxiliary to the, the fields that they're going to develop and use around the building.
The newspapers and other people making this look like he paid a mint for it, but $1 million for 50 acres is a good deal, I think.
And given the amount of maintenance and on that building and upkeep of that building and the capital improvements that are going to be needed to the entire site, it's a lot more than the purchase price. That's the,
He could sell 4 industrial lots on there for $1 million.
well, he can't because it's not in zoned industrial.
Well, it will be.
No, it won't be. If I'm sitting here, it's not going to be. All right. Any other comments? Take a motion to adjourn. Somebody's got to make one
Motion
or
to
we're going to
adjourn.
be here a while. Dave makes a motion to adjourn.
I heard that.
Deb
Second.
seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 I thought I heard
And
Joe.
thank you all, if you're online, for listening, and on TV for watching at our first attempt at a hybrid meeting. Hopefully, we pulled it off without too many issues. So thanks again, and Richard, again, thank you to your staff and at CMC and everything you guys did to make this work. Really appreciate it. Meeting's ended. Thank you.